The Note 20 Ultra is here, and as someone has used a Note 10 Plus for an entire year, I could not care less. Here's why. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and it's hands down the best Android smartphone I've ever had. It's the first phone that, now after a year of using it, it hasn't started to feel stale to me, which is kind of remarkable. But, as you might imagine, I was interested to see what the next Note was going to offer, and we found out during last week's Unpacked event. So naturally, I looked to the Note 20 Ultra as my upgrade path coming from the Note 10 Plus, and now that I've had a few days to wrap my head around the updates that the Note 20 Ultra will offer, I'm actually a little surprised that I have absolutely no interest in upgrading whatsoever. Usually an incremental upgrade nets me at least one feature that grabs me in some tangible way, but with the Note 20 Ultra, I'm kind of grasping at straws. Don't get me wrong, the Note 20 Ultra seems like a fantastic update for anyone who has a Note that's older than a year, but for people like me, I'm just not seeing it. The updates kind of feel more cosmetic than they do useful. Okay, so what am I talking about? Well, first let's look at 5G. Sure, 5G is really cool, and if you live inside of a 5G antenna, this might be attractive to you, but the vast majority of people in this country currently don't have access to 5G, and I'm not expecting that for a while. Believe me, I would love nothing more than to ditch my absolute garbage of an ISP for 5G at home internet, but it's a ways away. So 5G, it's just not really a real world thing just yet. Okay, so what about that dynamic 120 Hz screen? It sounds great, and I love smooth animations and all that junk, and from what I hear, it's a night and day difference. But upgrading a phone just for that? It's not happening. Plus, 120 Hz on the Note 20 Ultra drops the phone's res down to 1080p, which probably isn't that big of a deal, but it also hits that battery more than when you're not using it. So I'm just not sure it's worth the hassle. Maybe this is a next-gen thing for me. Plus, if you're really picky about the silky smooth operation of Android, you can deep dive into the developer settings and tweak the animations around to your liking. I've done that with pretty much every Android phone I've ever had, especially since they started offering developer settings. It's worth checking it out. Anytime I've upgraded my Android phone, it's been because I started to notice a gradual slowdown in how the device performed. Most recently, it happened to me with my Pixel, which, man, that thing really started to slug after a couple months. It's the reason I jumped ship to the Note 10 Plus to begin with. And straight up, this is the first time I can ever remember that after a full year, I don't really see any tangible slowdown. I mean, maybe it's the 12 gigs of RAM, maybe it's the Snapdragon 855 in this thing, but it feels just as fast as the first day I booted it up. The Note 20 Plus isn't flawless by any stretch, okay? But I guess if there's one or two features that I could see myself appreciating an upgrade on, it would be the Note 20 Ultra's improved camera specs, though I don't really have too many complaints about what I've got going on here with the 10 Plus. Or maybe an improved fingerprint sensor. I gotta say, that's probably the most disappointing thing about my Note 10 Plus, to the point where I actually don't even use that fingerprint sensor anymore just because of how high that failure rate is. Now that I'm saying it out loud, if I were recommending an upgrade to someone in the market for one, I might even tell them to look at the Note 10 Plus right now. It's not as expensive as the Note 20 Ultra, of course, and like I said earlier, it still feels like a brand new phone to me in terms of specs and performance. All right, so let me know what you think, especially if you're like me and you currently own a Note 10 Plus. Is a Note 20 Ultra upgrade even a consideration for you? I'm curious, let me know. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there, and thanks for watching.